Millionaire CEO brought his nanny to the gala. No one expected what happened next. Hello everyone. Before we begin today's story, I have a small favor to ask. Please hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our channel's new videos. It is quick, free, and the best way to support us in bringing you more dramatic stories. Your support means the world to us. Where are you watching from? Drop your city or country in the comments below. Thank you very much. Now, let us return to our main character. Maya stands in the marble hallway of the Hale estate, still in her worn sneakers, clutching the tote bag she always brings for the little girl she takes care of. Evening light presses through the tall windows, turning the floors into long ribbons of gold. She had just finished tidying up the playroom when she noticed Adrian Hale waiting by the doorway. The billionaire CEO rarely shows up unannounced. He is usually all sharp lines, polished suits, and a schedule that never bends. But tonight, there is something different in his eyes, something tense, almost urgent. "Maya," he says quietly, as if measuring each word before letting it go. "I need you to come with me tonight." She blinks. "Sir, is something wrong? Do you need help with your niece?" "No." His voice is calm but strained. "I need a date." Her breath catches. For a moment, she wonders if she misheard him. Adrian Hale does not date publicly. He does not even smile publicly. He is the type of man whose presence at a room is enough to silence it. "A date? For what?" she asks carefully. "For the company's annual charity gala," he replies. "My board expects me to attend with someone. The press expects it. It is complicated." Maya's hand tightens around the strap of her tote. This is not her world. This is not even close to her zip code. She is a nanny from a modest neighborhood on the west side. She shops sales, walks everywhere she can, and saves every spare dollar for her mother's medical bills. Walking into a gala with Adrian Hale sounds like stepping into a storm she is not built for. "Sir, I think you want someone else," she says softly. "Someone who knows how to fit in." Adrian's jaw tightens. "That is exactly why I want you." He takes a step closer. "You are not part of the board. You are not part of the press, and you do not have an agenda. I need someone who is neutral." She shakes her head slightly. "But why me?" His eyes flicker, just for a second, a crack in the armor. "Because I trust you, Maya." The words hit her harder than they should. Trust is not something that comes easily from a man like him. He reaches into his inner jacket pocket and hands her a small folder. "Think of it as a simple agreement. You accompany me tonight, nothing more. After the gala, life returns to normal." She hesitates before opening the folder. Inside is a one-page contract, clean and precise, written in the same cool tone the CEO uses during board meetings. 3 conditions. Stay by his side. Maintain a polite public facade. Speak to no one about the arrangement. Her pulse rises. A contract for a single evening. A gala filled with powerful people. Cameras, crowds, expectations she has never faced. "Sir, this is a lot," she whispers. Adrian exhales, slow and heavy. "If I go alone tonight, the rumors will multiply. The board is already circling. They want a weakness to exploit." He pauses. "I cannot give them one." Maya looks down at the contract again. Her mother's latest hospital invoice flashes through her mind. Rent, medication, bus fare, everything she has been trying to hold together. Adrian studies her face for a long moment. His voice softens. "You will not be harmed. You will not be embarrassed. I give you my word." Something in his tone makes her believe him. She signs. When she hands the pen back, Adrian straightens slightly, as if a weight has shifted. But then he says something that sends a chill along her arms. "Maya, before we leave, you need to know something." He pauses, choosing his words. "Tonight will not be easy, and once we step into that ballroom, nothing will be the same." The hallway goes quiet, the light fades, and for the first time, Maya realizes she has just stepped into a world built on secrets, expectations, and power. A world where she does not belong. Yet. The signature on that contract still feels warm on Maya's fingertips as she walks down the long corridor toward the staff exit. The house is quiet at this hour, the kind of quiet that makes every sound sharper. Her breath, her footsteps, the faint hum of the air conditioning. Everything feels heavier now. She stops near the doorway, sets her tote bag on a small bench, and pulls out her phone. A notification from the hospital blinks on the screen. Another reminder about her mother's overdue treatment bill. The amount sits there like a weight on her chest, large enough to swallow her whole. She exhales slowly, pressing the heel of her hand against her forehead. She whispers to herself, "You can do this. It is just one night." But the words do not fully calm her. She pictures the ballroom she has only ever seen on news broadcasts. Glittering floors, crystal chandeliers, people in gowns that cost more than her annual income, cameras everywhere, conversations that carry the sharpness of status and ambition, a room full of people who will see her as a stranger, an accident, or worse, an intruder. The thought makes her stomach twist. A soft knock interrupts her. It is Elena, the older housekeeper who has always looked out for Maya like a distant aunt. Elena studies her face with concern. "You look pale," she says gently. "Are you all right?" Maya tries to smile, but it trembles. "I am going with Mr. Hale to the gala tonight." Elena blinks once, then again. "The gala? The big one?" "Yes." A long moment passes before Elena nods. "Then listen to me carefully. Walk with your shoulders back. Look people in the eyes. You belong anywhere you choose to stand. Do you understand?" The word strikes something deep inside Maya. Belong. A simple word, yet she has spent most of her life feeling like she is always one room, one paycheck, one decision away from losing everything. She nods anyway. "I will try." Elena squeezes her hand. Trying is enough. When Maya steps outside into the fading evening, the air smells of warm pavement and freshly cut grass. She walks toward the bus stop at the end of the block, but her legs feel unsteady. Each step echoes the same question. Why me? Not out of arrogance, out of fear, out of uncertainty, out of the strange, undeniable truth that Adrian Hale could have chosen anyone with experience, polish, or social power. But he chose her. Her phone buzzes again. This time it is a message from her sister asking if she has paid the utility bill yet. The answer is no. She cannot pay both that and the hospital fees this month. The contract's compensation is not everything, but it is more than she would earn in several weeks. She closes her eyes. Her decision suddenly feels less like a choice and more like necessity. The sun dips behind the rooftops as she reaches the stop. The streetlights flicker on, casting a thin halo around her. Cars pass by, windows tinted, engines quiet. For a moment she watches them and wonders what it would feel like to move through life without worrying about every bill, every hour, every ounce of energy spent just to stay afloat. She pulls her lightweight jacket closer. The evening chill creeps in. Her thoughts drift back to Adrian's face in the hallway. That tension around his eyes, that unspoken pressure. He is not the type of man who asks for help unless he is cornered. Whatever waits at the gala tonight is bigger than a simple public appearance. Maya senses it, a current beneath the surface, something she cannot name. The bus approaches with a soft roar, headlights sweeping across the pavement. She steps inside, finds an empty seat near the back, and watches the city blur past the window. Her mind repeats the same quiet promise. One night, then everything goes back to normal. But deep down she feels it. Normal does not survive nights like this. Not in Adrian Hale's world, and not in hers. The next morning arrives gray and quiet, the kind of morning that feels like it holds its breath. Maya steps off the bus in front of the Hale corporate tower, a glass monolith rising into the low clouds. She hesitates before entering, her fingers still tight around the small contract folder she signed last night. Inside, the lobby glows with soft gold light. Marble floors, polished steel columns, a fountain that murmurs like a distant whisper. Employees in tailored suits hurry past her, badges flashing. She keeps her eyes forward, reminding herself to breathe. A security guard approaches. "Are you here for Mr. Hale?" "Yes," she replies, with a steady voice she does not fully feel. He nods and gestures toward the private elevator. Its doors slide open silently. She steps inside, the air cool and still, as if the elevator exists in its own world. When the doors open again, Adrian Hale is waiting. He stands near the tall windows of his office, the skyline behind him washed in pale morning light. He does not turn immediately. His posture is straight, but his shoulders look heavier than they did last night. "Maya," he says, finally facing her. "Thank you for coming." She nods, unsure what to say. The city stretches behind him, distant and unbothered, while she feels every beat of her heart echo against the quiet room. Adrian walks to his desk and opens a sleek black folder. Inside is a revised version of the same contract she signed, but this time it looks more formal, more deliberate. "I want to be clear about tonight," he says. "We need boundaries, strong ones." He slides the folder across the desk. Maya hesitates before opening it. 3 main rules, typed in sharp, clean lines. Rule 1. Maintain a composed public image. No personal disclosures. Rule 2. Stay within immediate proximity during the entire gala. Rule 3. After the event, all communication returns to professional boundaries, unless initiated by him. She reads each line slowly. The words feel heavier than ink, as if they carry the weight of expectations she cannot fully see. Adrian watches her closely. "This is not to restrict you, it is to protect you." "From what?" she asks quietly. His jaw tenses. "The people who will be there tonight thrive on perception. They look for weakness. They look for stories they can twist. I do not want you caught in that." Maya closes the folder. "I understand." But she does not. Not entirely. She understands the rules, but not the reason beneath them. Not the quiet tension hiding behind his voice. Not the flicker in his eyes when he speaks of the board and the press. Adrian sits down, but the calm in his movements is practiced, not natural. There is more. He hands her a small velvet box. She blinks, startled. "It is not jewelry," he says quickly. "Open it." Inside is a discreet silver pin, shaped like a tiny crescent. Elegant, but simple. "It is part of the dress code for my guests," Adrian explains. "It signals to the event staff that you are under my protection, that they are to assist you if needed." The word protection lands heavier than he probably intends. Maya closes the box gently. "I appreciate it." For a moment, neither of them speaks. The office feels colder than before. Finally, Adrian says, "There is one last thing, something I need you to promise." She waits. "No matter what you see or hear tonight, do not walk away from my side." The way he says it makes something inside her tighten. It is not an order, it is a warning, a quiet, uneasy plea buried beneath his confidence. "I will stay," she says. His expression softens, only slightly. "Thank you." She gathers the folder in the velvet box, preparing to leave, when Adrian adds, almost under his breath, "After tonight, I will owe you more than you know." Maya pauses, unsure how to respond. Outside the tall windows, the clouds roll closer, dimming the morning light. The city keeps moving, unaware that somewhere high above the streets, a contract has been signed not just with ink, but with consequences neither of them can see yet. When Maya steps back into the elevator, her pulse echoes the same truth she felt last night. Nothing about this arrangement is simple, and the rules, no matter how clear, will not be enough to keep the night from changing everything. The hours before the gala unfold with a quiet urgency that Maya has never felt before. She stands in a guest room on the 30th floor of the Hale corporate tower, her jacket draped over a chair, her tote bag tucked neatly in a corner. A soft knock at the door breaks the silence. A stylist steps inside, arms full of garment bags and small metal cases. "Mr. Hale asked us to prepare you for tonight," she says with a warm but focused tone. "We have limited time, so let us begin." Maya nods, unsure where to stand. The stylist gestures to a chair by the mirror. As she sits, the room fills with the faint scent of hairspray and pressed fabric. The stylist works with practiced hands, moving around her with quiet efficiency. Brushes sweep across her skin, pins click, fabric whispers. But even surrounded by the gentle rhythm of the preparations, Maya feels an undercurrent of pressure. A world she never belonged to is dressing her as if she does. She watches her reflection, not the final look, not yet, just fragments. A curl smoothed behind her ear, a soft shade of color across her lips, a faint highlight along her cheek. She barely recognizes the woman in the mirror, even though the transformation has only begun. The stylist studies her expression. "Are you nervous?" she asks. "Yes," Maya whispers. "A little." "It is normal," the stylist replies. "Just breathe. The rest will follow." The garment bag opens with a long, slow zip. Inside is a deep navy gown, elegant without being loud, structured in a way that seems designed to protect more than reveal. The fabric catches light like water. Maya touches it with the tips of her fingers. "This is too much." "Not for tonight," the stylist says softly. "Trust me." As Maya steps into the gown, the room seems to shift. The weight of the fabric anchors her. The cool silk against her skin feels like a boundary being drawn between her old life and the one she is stepping into for one night. The stylist fastens the small silver crescent pin to the gown's shoulder. When Maya sees it in the mirror, she remembers Adrian's voice from earlier. "It signals that you are under my protection." She inhales slowly. Protection from what? The stylist steps back. "There," she says. "Look at yourself." Maya does. For a moment, the world narrows to the reflection staring back at her. She looks composed, capable, almost untouchable. But beneath it all, she feels like a visitor wearing someone else's life. Another knock. This one firmer. Adrian enters. He pauses at the doorway, as if the sight of her takes him by surprise. His usual steady expression shifts, the faintest crack in his composure. "Maya," he says quietly, "you look perfect." The words settle over her like warm air, but she does not know what to do with them. She offers a small, uncertain smile. "Thank you." He steps closer, adjusting the crescent pin with careful fingers. "This will help you tonight. If anything becomes overwhelming, signal any staff member wearing a silver badge. They will guide you." His nearness unsettles her, not in fear, in something harder to name. When he steps back, the distance feels colder. "We have 30 minutes before departure," he says. "I want to show you the layout of the ballroom so you will not feel lost." They walk through the private corridors of the building. Adrian explains the sequence of the event, the names of key attendees, the moments where cameras will be unavoidable. His tone is calm, almost rehearsed, but there is a guarded edge to it, as if he is preparing her for a battlefield rather than a gala. At one point, Maya asks, "Is it always like this for you?" Adrian hesitates. "Yes, and no." He looks ahead, voice lowering. "Tonight is different." They reach the elevator. The city stretches below them, glowing against the dusk. Adrian presses the button, but his gaze stays on her. "I know this world can feel like too much," he says. "If you panic at any moment, just look for me. I will be there." A quiet promise, steady, unexpected, dangerous in its softness. The elevator doors slide open. As they step inside, Maya realizes the transformation is not just the gown or the makeup or the pin. It is this moment, standing beside a man whose life could swallow hers whole. And yet, he is asking her to trust him. The elevator descends. Tonight, their arrangement truly begins. The car glides to a stop in front of the ballroom entrance, the kind of entrance built for people who live their lives beneath chandeliers. Camera flashes burst in the distance like small white storms. Maya sits beside Adrian in the back seat, her hands folded tightly in her lap, her breath shallow. When the driver opens the door, the night air rushes in. Cool, sharp, charged. Adrian steps out first. His presence shifts the crowd immediately. Photographers straighten. Reporters lift their microphones. The air fills with murmurs. Then he extends a hand to her. For a brief moment, she hesitates. The lights, the crowd, the sheer force of attention feel like a tidal wave waiting to pull her under. But Adrian's hand stays steady, unmoving, offering something she does not expect: steadiness. She takes it. The instant she steps out, the noise swells. 100 eyes turn toward them. Maya's pulse thunders in her ears. Her first instinct is to shrink, to retreat. But Adrian leans in slightly and whispers, "Just breathe. I am right here." They walk toward the entrance. Every step feels like walking across thin glass. Flash after flash, question after question. The press fires words at them. "Mr. Hale, who is your companion tonight? Is this a new relationship? Is the board aware of this?" Maya keeps her gaze forward, shoulders back, Elena's words echoing in her mind. "You belong anywhere you choose to stand." Inside the ballroom, warm amber light spills across polished floors. Music hums softly beneath conversations. Waiters glide between guests with silver trays. The sheer scale of the room makes Maya feel smaller than she ever has. And that is when it happens. A board member, sharp suit, colder eyes, steps into their path. "Adrian," he says with a practiced smile, "you brought a guest." His gaze drifts to Maya, slow enough to sting, dismissive enough to cut. Adrian's voice turns crisp. "Yes, this is Maya." The man raises an eyebrow. "And what exactly is her role tonight?" Before Maya can panic, a hostess rushes over, flustered. "Mr. Hale, there is an issue at the registration desk." Adrian turns to Maya. "Stay here for a moment. I will be right back." She nods, but the room tilts the moment he steps away. Eyes follow her. Whispers ripple. She stands alone in a sea of silk gowns and polished shoes. Then the board member steps closer. "So," he says quietly, "you are the woman Adrian brought. Do you understand where you are? The people in this room do not tolerate unpredictability." Maya inhales slowly. She remembers the crescent pin on her shoulder, the contract, the rules, the promise she made to stay. She lifts her chin. "I understand exactly where I am." The man seems amused. "Is that so?" "Yes," she says, steadying her breath. "And I also understand that you should not speak to me as if I do not belong here." The board member's smile falters, just for a moment. A tiny win, but it is enough. When Adrian returns, he notices the tension in the air. "Everything all right?" he asks softly. Maya nods. "Yes," but something in her tone makes him look closer. The night has only begun, and the first test has already arrived. The music fades into a soft, distant hum as the evening stretches on. Conversations rise and fall around them like waves, but Maya feels the pressure building in her chest. She stays close to Adrian, just as the contract instructed, yet every crowded corner and lingering stare makes her shoulders tighten. Adrian notices. He leans slightly toward her. "You've done well tonight," he murmurs. "Better than I expected." She glances at him. "Expected? Did you think I would fail?" His expression softens. "No, I thought they would fail you." Before she can respond, a server nearly bumps into her, teetering under a tray of champagne flutes. Maya steadies the woman with a quiet, "It is all right," her voice calm, her hands steady. The server gives her a grateful smile before hurrying away. Adrian watches Maya for a long moment, something unreadable passing through his eyes. "You handled that with grace," he says quietly. But the room grows louder again, thick with competing conversations and sharp laughter. Maya feels the walls closing in, the scent of perfume too strong, the flashes from photographers lingering in her eyes even inside the ballroom. Adrian leans closer. "Come with me." He guides her through a side hallway, away from the noise, past a velvet curtain that leads to a terrace overlooking the city. The night air rushes in, cool and honest. Maya steps forward, letting the breeze wash over her. The tension in her shoulders melts, just enough for her to breathe. For a moment, neither of them speaks. Then Adrian says, "Crowds are the part I hate most." Maya turns to him. "But you handle them so well." "That is because they expect me to." His gaze settles on the skyline. Expectations become armor after a while. Heavy, rigid, necessary. There is something in his voice she has not heard before. A quiet exhaustion. A truth slipping through the cracks. She studies him. His posture is straight, but his hands are slightly tense at his sides. His eyes, normally sharp and decisive, look distant, haunted by something she cannot yet name. "Adrian," she says gently, "are you all right?" His jaw shifts, a small, involuntary movement. He hesitates, then speaks with a softness she has never heard from him. "I do not like being surrounded by people who look at me and see only what they can gain." He pauses, breathing slow and deliberate. "And yet I cannot afford to step away. Not tonight." Something in him seems to break open in the quiet, a flaw in the steel, a wound he has carried alone. Maya steps closer. "You are allowed to feel overwhelmed." A faint, almost disbelieving smile touches his lips. "Not in my world." The breeze lifts the edge of her gown. The city glows below them like a field of stars. For a brief moment, the two of them stand in a bubble of stillness, untouched by the ballroom behind them. "You asked me not to leave your side," she says softly. "I will keep that promise." Adrian looks at her then, really looks. Something warm flickers behind his eyes, brief but undeniable. "Thank you, Maya." The moment lingers, fragile and deep. A quiet shift, a new thread tying them together. Then the distant sound of applause rises from inside. Adrian straightens, the mask returning, but slower this time. We should go back. Maya nods, but as they walk toward the curtain, she senses it clearly. The man she is walking beside tonight is not the untouchable CEO the city believes he is. He is someone far lonelier, far more human, and far more in need of someone to stand with him than she ever imagined. When Adrian and Maya step back into the ballroom, the atmosphere has shifted. The music has grown louder, the conversations sharper, the energy restless in a way that feels wrong. Maya senses it immediately, a cold undercurrent, a subtle change in the way people glance their way. Adrian notices too. His posture tightens. Across the room, a woman in a silver gown watches them. Her expression is smooth, but her eyes gleam with something pointed. She whispers to the man beside her, and the two exchange a look that makes Maya's stomach tighten. Before Maya can ask, a notification sounds from someone's phone nearby. Then another, then more. Soft chimes rippling through the crowd like falling glass. Whispers ignite. Is that real? Who leaked it? How long has this been going on? Adrian's name drifts through the murmurs, and Maya feels her pulse jump. A young associate approaches, pale and hesitant. "Mr. Hale, I am sorry, sir. There is a situation." Adrian's voice hardens. "Explain." The associate swallows. "There is a rumor spreading online. Someone posted that you brought a nanny as your date because you are trying to manipulate the board. They are saying you want sympathy votes. They are calling her your strategy piece." Maya freezes. She hears the words, but they hit her like cold air, numbing and sharp. Adrian's jaw tightens with a force she has not seen before. Who posted it? We are not sure yet. The account is anonymous, but the timing suggests someone at the gala. The woman in the silver gown glances their way again. Maya does not miss the small, satisfied curve of her mouth. Then the board member from earlier approaches with a mask of concern far too polished to be genuine. "Adrian, I had hoped this evening would be smooth, but bringing her was a mistake. The optics are terrible." He does not bother lowering his voice. People hear, people listen. Maya feels herself shrinking inside, not outwardly, but in a place where dignity lives. Adrian steps forward, cold and controlled. "You will not speak about her that way." The board member raises both hands. "I am merely pointing out the consequences. If this blows up, the board will demand an emergency vote." Maya watches the tension carve itself into Adrian's expression. He is calculating, weighing, fighting something invisible. Then, with a chilling softness, the board member adds, "Perhaps the company needs a leader who makes better judgments." A strike. Clean. Cruel. Maya's breath catches. Adrian turns toward her, and for the first time tonight, she sees something raw in his eyes. Fear disguised as anger. "Maya," he says quietly, "stay close." But the damage is already spreading through the room, silent and poisonous. And she knows, with a heavy certainty, that this night is about to turn into a storm neither of them is prepared for. The ballroom noise grows sharper, cutting through the air like thin glass. Maya stands beside Adrian, but every whisper feels like it has hands, tugging at her, twisting her presence into something ugly she never meant to be. Then the woman in the silver gown approaches. Her steps are slow, deliberate, a performance wrapped in silk. She offers Adrian a sympathetic smile that does not reach her eyes. "Adrian, you should have known the board would react this way," she says softly. "Bringing someone like her, it invites assumptions, dangerous ones." The words land on Maya with a weight that makes her chest tighten. Someone like her. She holds her breath, waiting for Adrian to defend her again, to push back, to stand as firmly as he did before. But this time, he hesitates. The board member from earlier joins the circle. The vote will not wait. Too many people saw the post. Optics matter. You know that. Adrian's jaw locks, but he says nothing. Maya feels the shift, a small, devastating change in the air. The board member continues. "If you want to stabilize this, you need to step forward and clarify that she is not a serious part of your life. The press is already gathering outside. A brief statement now would contain the fallout." Maya's heart drops. She looks at Adrian, but his eyes are distant, calculating, cornered by a world she does not understand. Adrian? She whispers. He still does not answer. Instead, he turns toward the board members. If a statement will prevent a vote, then I will consider. The rest of the sentence never leaves his mouth. Maya feels it like a clean cut. Sharp, silent, final. The woman in silver glances at Maya, her expression victorious. This is for the company, dear. Nothing personal. Nothing personal. But it feels deeply personal. Adrian finally looks at Maya. His voice is low, tight. I need to handle this. Please stay out of sight for now. Her throat tightens. You want me to hide? His hesitation lasts one breath too long. Maya steps back, the gown brushing against the marble floor, the silver crescent pin catching the light like a wound. I see, she says softly. The space between them grows wide and cold. Adrian turns toward the board, already surrounded by their quiet pressure. But Maya stands frozen, realizing something she wished she would never feel. He brought her into his world for protection, yet, when the storm came, she stood alone. And now he must choose, the company's image or the truth of the woman who stood at his side. Maya walks toward the far end of the ballroom, the lights blurring as she moves. Her breath shakes, but she forces herself to stay composed. She will not break in front of people who decided she did not belong before they even learned her name. She steps onto a quiet balcony, gripping the railing as the cool night air settles around her. From inside, the muffled hum of the Gala rises and falls. She closes her eyes. A door opens behind her. Maya. Adrian's voice carries something she has not heard before. Uncertainty. She does not turn. You should go. They need you. I know, he says softly, but I need to say something first. She waits, her back still turned. Adrian takes a slow breath. I hesitated because I have spent years protecting the company from every rumor, every headline, every threat. I forgot that protecting the people who stand with me matters more than protecting my image. She closes her eyes tighter, holding herself still. I was wrong, he continues, and I am going to fix it. She turns then. Adrian meets her gaze, and for the first time tonight, he is not the polished CEO who commands every room. He is simply a man standing in the aftermath of his own mistake. I will not let them use you as a shield, he says, and I will not let them paint you as anything less than what you are. What am I? Maya asks quietly. His voice steadies. Someone I trust, someone who walked into a battlefield she never asked for, someone who deserves honesty. He steps closer. I am going to speak to the press, not to distance myself from you, but to take responsibility. I will tell them you did nothing wrong, that bringing you tonight was my choice, not a strategy. And if the board wants a vote, then let them vote. I am done hiding behind contracts. The words settle between them, warm and real. Adrian, she whispers, you do not have to do that. I do, he says, because you stood beside me, and I failed to do the same. For the first time tonight, her chest loosens, not completely, but enough to breathe. He offers his hand, not as a CEO guiding a guest, but as a man reaching for someone he hopes will stay. Maya, he says quietly, will you walk back with me? She looks at his hand, then at him. The city glows behind him, the ballroom murmurs below, and somewhere inside her, something shifts. She places her hand in his. The storm has not ended, but they will face it together now, not as a contract, but as a choice.